to Path of Exile live stream. Tonight we're going to be doing Barry Smith, or Barrage Smith, shall I say. This is the Smith of Kitava using a spear and the Barrage skill line. This is kind of a build series that I'm doing where I basically roll randomly using a random generator, the Wheel of Fate, to decide what skills I use and make a build out of it. So this character is basically using the Barrage skill, which is a volley of arrows or spears and parrying your next Barrage bow or projectile spear attack to repeat multiple times, consumes your frenzy charges to add additional repeats. This is the skill that I've been using on this build, and I've been struggling. I must admit, the last stream I wasn't really happy with the loadout, and it's very boring. And the problem is this is a very simple build because Barrage is a buff skill and I'm using it with the spear throw. The spear throw again was chosen by the Wheel of Fate. Out of all the Barrage ball skills on the spear line, it rolled the default attack. So I am using spear throw, and it kind of spear throw default attack's got high damage, 264%. It is nice, there's a lot of damage. But when you're leveling, it's incredibly boring because you only get you can't boost these up with Jeweler's Orbs. You can only wait until you level up. I've kind of got to a sweet spot now, and I've did a bit of theory crafting off stream, and I've kind of come to a really good point with it, and it is working really well. And the magic I brought to it is Caltrops. Caltrops are working really well. I want to kind of increase and enhance the damage that I do. I just don't want to do single target damage because it's very, very boring to play, but it'll say, we need to be big killers, right? So I thought Caltrops would be good. Caltrops scale with thorns damage as well, so I thought, well, I could get for thorns as well, and being Smith of Kitava and a flame type of build, I thought, well, if we go the Cloak of Flame Silk Robe route, AOE 40% of physical damage taken as fire damage, and we do a lot of fire resistance, we could do that. And then we get the Fire Thorns damage on that, which then transmutes to the Caltrops, because Caltrops, if I just go to the Caltrops increases the reductions to thorn damage applied to hit damage with the skill. Now, interestingly, on Caltrops as well, they've changed something here. The attack damage of the skill is 75% of the default attack damage. That wasn't the case, I believe, unless it is on the Trail of Caltrops. No, because they're 87 to 130 base physical damage, increase and reductions. Yeah, so I don't think. I think with the on the wiki, the Caltrops scaled with dexterity. I think they've changed that now. So the fact that it scales with weapon damage means that it's better. They're going to do more damage. Yeah, spear throw with Caltrops means that I've got a little bit more AOE, a little more damage on that. And also, the other thing actually to think about is Barrage uses frenzy charges to add damage. Now, the other thing to think about on spear throw is spear throw can use a frenzy charge to create an explosion doing 490% damage, which is really nice. Good bit of damage there. So if you look at the explosion damage, it's 1765. Total damage is 28. Sorry, that's the average damage. Damage per second is 2842. Spear throw 1531. Average damage 951. So it kind of almost doubles the damage, which is really nice. But we want to save our frenzy charges for the Barrage. Now, instead of doing a front bar, back bar setup like I was doing yesterday, I decided to strip back. We're going to do spear throw on just one slot at the moment. I'm not going to mess it out with it too much. We've got a bit of AoE, we've got a good single target as well. This spear is really nice for a level 36 spear. It's got 109 physical, 15 to 22 physical damage, 18 attack speed, and increased physical damage. Plus, I put some fire in the slot, which actually I might change out to more physical damage, possibly. So this setup works well. I've put in a scepter as well. I was using a focus. I have tried to use a parry, a buckler shield. I've gone for the rattling scepter, and because this is a really interesting thing which I never realized existed, I would never thought about this, but there is Thorn Skin 2, which deals 70% increased thorns damage while a support skill is active. Now, you don't have to have just one of these. You can have 2 of these. You can have 3 of these. If you got enough spirit, you can put them in every single active supported skill, and it does scale. Look, so if I go to, you can test this by, if you go to the character window and scroll down to thorns damage, my total thorn damage at the moment is 215 to 338. If I go to my gems and I take off a thorn skin, you can now see it's 171 to 267. If I take another one off, you can see it's 125 to 197. So these stack, and you can put them in multiple ones. The only problem is they do cost 40 spirit a pop, so you need lots of spirit. Now, at the moment, this is why I've got the scepter. I've got 146 spirit in that. I've got 50 spirit in my amulet. Obviously, I'm using the silk robe at the moment. I kind of like the fact that we get the 40 damage, physical damage reduction here. That is nice. Smith and Kitava doesn't have spirit on the Smith's Masterwork, unfortunately. So there is no spirit modifier within this little selection here. So if I wanted to have spirit on my chest piece, I would have to get a chest piece with spirit on it, like one of these, which would work. In fact, if I just type in thorns, I could get something that's a bit rubbish. That one, that's even worse. Ooh. Okay, so here, look, we get 28 to 38 physical thorns, and then 35 spirit. 35 would possibly be just enough with the 6 there to add another thorn skin to another 40% damage on that. Or the other thing you can do is you can put 2 thorn skin ones on if you've got enough space, and there's 20 each. So in fact, I could get an extra 10% thorn damage if I split my thorn skin there and had a 20 and a 20. Look at that. I can even get, I could do it now. So in fact, I will do that. So if I go to gems, I'll just type, have I got a thorn skin? It's barbs, which is melee, which is a bit of a shame. Barbs is a good one because you can add the thorns damage to next hits, but it's melee attacks only, which is really a bit wanky that. So I'm not doing melee, I'm only doing projectile. But if I was to do this, thorn skin 1, come on, all gems. Thorn skin 1, which is a level 2 skill. Seems a bit of a waste to do it on a 5. That I got a 3. There we go. That's fine. So let's type that in again. Thorns and all gems. If I do a thorn skin 1 and I do another one, even though I've got a 2 in the scavenging plate, I could do one of those there, one of those there. There we go. I've got an extra 10, even though it's 70. It's kind of a bit crazy that. Yeah. So I should have more. Let's have a little look. Thorns damage 338. Has it gone up a little bit? It should have gone up a little bit. Right. Let's have a look. Let's just test this. Take off the 40. Take off the 40. Stick in that one. Go to the character. 330. What? 215. It's 128 to 216. Is this not stacking? 222 to 338. The bottom number higher, right? 222. Am I being dumb? Yeah, it's gone up a little bit. It's gone up 7 points. So there is a little bit of a gain to be had there. I mean, it's incremental and small, and yeah, dumb, but whatever. I mean, I wonder if I could put. Yeah, I can't do it. So the other option I was going to do is get rid of the skeletal warriors and stick in a. If I thought about converting frenzy charges to power charges, I have, and it's a good one, Paul. But the problem is, I've got to get all the way over here. Not that one. Up here. It's a long way. That is a long way for me to go. There is a lot of nodes that I'll be sucking up, and the frenzy charges that I'll get from that, from doing power charges, might not be beneficial. I can't instill that because it's a large node. You can only instill these ones. You can't instill these ones. Yeah. So I have thought about it, but what I have done, and this is another little bit of thing I'm thinking of going into. Oh, sorry, I don't want to go there. With the spear throw, I put the inhibitor on. So the inhibitor will give me, with charges and infusions, if I stack them, will give me 4% more damage. So what I do need to do now, I do need to build in power charges into this build. I also need to build in infusion as well. So I think what I might end up doing is I put scavenging plate on, obviously, for the thorns increase, because thorns equals more damage. I do need to fully break armour, so I need an armour break on, which I haven't thought about. Yes, I do. In fact, I was thinking about this earlier. Armour break. 15% chance to gain an endurance charge when supported skills fully break an armour. Now, I was thinking, where can I put this? Into Gale Force, Skeletal Warrior Minion. I could put it into the Caltrops, actually. Ooh, or I could put it there. Or I could put it... I don't know if I would gain it if my... So I'm using... My spear minion is really freaking strong as well. Like, he is a bit of a beast. It's either going to be Wind Dancer, which could work, because I do actually roll in close, so I want to drop the Caltrops. Or I might actually stick it. We could get rid of Living Lightning. I mean, Lightning is just done for a little bonus on that. The only problem is it doesn't always proc because it tends to kill. I could do a guaranteeing this a bit more. I'll just take in that mastery one there, the physical mastery one, and see if that works. So I think this may work. Lingering Illusion as I'm roly-poling. Let's do charge and see what. So again, power charge. Yeah, this will give me a power charge, but we want to keep the power charge because we get 4% damage per power charge we get. And also, I've got pinning on my boots, so I am pinning quite a lot, and the physical damage is quite high on this build already. I obviously don't use mana costs as well, so I've got idle hands, which means that I get 25% increased attack speed when mana is full, which works really nicely too. So some decent synergy around here. And then I've got the Cultist Crown for the thorns damage can retaliate, because, you know, why not? However, I don't really need that, actually, apart from the damage, because I'm not doing melee physical. While the reason I picked that up was because of barbs, but we can't do barbs because barb is melee. So this only works once you do thorns damage. Now, because I thought, well, the Pale King helmet retaliates, therefore doing thorn damage, but we don't do melee attacks, so it's kind of useless. So I could actually change that out, lose a little bit of thorns damage, and stack something else in. That could be interesting. We could go for the helmet that gives me 100 spirit. Bigger presence, 100 spirit equals, what's that? Yeah, 40. Yeah, 20 spirit for 40, right? But I need somewhere to stick them, so I'll have to have one in Wind Dancer. I can increase Wind Dancer and get another Thorn Skin, and that would be just 20 off. And then possibly I need another 30 for another Spirit Gem, so that's 50, and then I could stick in a Thorn Skin 2, which would give me another 70, so I could get, with that, 100 spirit from the helmet. What's that? Another 70 plus 40. Yeah. So that's another 110% more thorns damage. Could work. But yeah, so what I'm going to do anyway at this stage is get rid of the Herald of Ash. I think we can do without that at the moment. We've got armor break 3 in. That's good. I wonder what the lingering illusion likes to have. Maybe power charge related. We want to like double up power charges. Yeah, possibly. My only thing about this is that I'm really shit at aiming. So, oh, look at this. We're getting orbs everywhere. Yes. Apart from we are using up the frenzy orb, which is kind of the point. We want to keep Barrage nicely organised. To I point out, my spear is an absolute monster. It is deadly and fierce. You do not want to be messing with the spear. No, watch this. Where is it? Come on, go attack. Die. I could just go around and say, kill, kill. Funny. Right, there's lots of roly-poly. See, now this feels like we've got more of a build going on here. There is a peg leg boots that we could try and bring in. There's like cannonball fodder, whatever it is. I don't know. I mean, all right, armor broken. That's my spear's done that. Good job. Getting all the orbs up. Each orb gives me 4% extra damage, which is nice. I mean, it's not as powerful as the Bell build this, but I still feel like it's doing a substantial amount of damage. My spear is carrying me though somewhat. Yeah, I mean that there. This is what it is, isn't it? This is the Caltrops, the death by Caltrops from the Barrage. I've turned it into a Caltrop build. Yeah, she's hitting quite hard actually. Nope. It makes a very satisfying noise when it's fully charged. 10% increased damage for each hazard triggered recently, up to 50%. That is what we need. Fun to watch. Well, you know what? It's fun to play as well, and it's about time, because I think after yesterday's disaster, which I really felt just didn't synergize very well, and it just felt really crap. And you know, I could see where I wanted to go with it, but it just didn't have the right. It didn't have that enjoyment. So what I'm going to do, what I've decided to do is the website that I've set up for ESO builds and whatnot, which is fragmansaul.com. What I'm going to do is do the seasonal builds that we do up on this. This was what I was doing. This is my, I don't know what season this was, but I'm going to create a Path of Exile builds, and then I'm going to do like 0.3 Abyssal, and then I'll have like all the different list of all the builds that I've got. and I'll list them out so that I've got something a little bit more. I mean, this is ESO. These are my bash builds that I used to have on the channel that I pulled off. But I'm going to do that on here, I think, and make it a bit more. And then we're just going to have build up a stockpile, because the thing is, the builds will change, right? They will get nerfed, they'll get adapted and changed, and I like and as I jump around from build to next, I can't even remember what I built last season and how the mechanics work. So I kind of think having YouTube as a place where we can store them, having my website as a place where I can put it out, so I can actually set it out, because watching a video build, you've got to watch the segment where I'm talking about the skill gems or where I'm talking about the passive tree, whereas if it's all laid out, and I can do a path of building link on there as well, so people can play around with them. I think that would be a fun little thing to do.